Amazing, amazing. So now we will begin with our second episode. Again, this will have the same structure. I'll tell you all some things, and then you'll be given task and time to complete that task. Okay. So now let us begin the second episode. So now second episode, overcoming your biggest fears. Okay, now what are like we in the first episode we spoke about the biggest fears. Now why do we start a book and never finish it? Have you all ever wondered or questioned yourself what will be the primary reason that we've started something but we've never finished that particular thing? Anybody? I'd like to know about it in the chat box. Hello. Anybody else would like to add up? So Khushi says that we lose interest. Like we realized in the first episode itself, that is also because of the reasons that I mentioned in the first episode, that we usually sub vocalize the things and we try to, not imagine things. Okay, Navtha. Now we find some other interesting book that we want to switch to. That is a problem, my friend. We will have to actually first finish the book, and then actually we should or ideally move on to the next book. Because if we just keep switching, we will not never finish the first book that we ever took in hand. So anyway, we'll just deal with that on how we can actually finish this particular book and then move on to the next book by the tricks that we speak about in the coming episodes. So okay, also one of the the most important reason why we don't finish what we have actually started is because we don't start a book with a purpose. We don't question ourselves, why have we started the book that we've started. Okay, now when was the last time you started reading a book and you questioned yourself, why are you reading the book, or for that matter any chapter, even in your school textbooks, or once you are out of it, trying to develop a new skill or trying to read a new fictional book that you've just picked up. Why have you, have you ever questioned that, why is it that you want to read this book? Have you all done that ever? Okay, and Navdha, so when you did that the last time, were you able to finish that book? Amazing, amazing. That's great. What about you, Rubani and Gaurav? Even you, if you could type in that. Okay, okay, don't worry. We will also overcome this. Gaurav, any inputs? Because of an author. Yeah, that happens. Which was this book, Gaurav? That if you like to share your thoughts. Oh, Think Like a Monk, Jay Shetty. Okay, great. So, okay, this is also one of the primary reasons that we don't actually start with a purpose. That why are we starting? Why have we picked up this book? What are we trying to gain out of this book? Like, what is the message that the author is trying to gain, and what is the lesson that you will try to learn from this book? Have you all, now let me question this particular thing. Have you all any times started a book, you said yes, I want to read it for this purpose, and then actually implemented that particular thing? Like, not a book but even a lesson, or even a audio thing, that a video. Say you started this particular video, and then you've questioned, and how did that feel for you, Gaurav? Did it bring about a difference later on? Navda and Rubani, you guys. Okay, okay, okay. So that is also the prime. This is one of the biggest reasons why we, also one of the biggest reasons that we begin a book, but we never finish the book. That we don't start it with a purpose. Right, that happens because we've just started it blindly. We have not actually tried to realize what we actually want to gain out of it. Now, how can you select a book that you want to read? Okay, this is the process that I follow. Take, you have something that you want to read about, say a fictional story, or something that you want to develop upon, something like you want to learn how to learn faster. So you take up that particular thought that you want to learn about. You go to Google, you type in that you want to read this, you want to learn faster, and then you type in how to 5 books that can help you learn faster. Or say right now, since we are in speed reading, then we can address this much and relate to this much faster. We can go top 5 books on speed reading. You'll get, some suggestions in Google and some articles on Google. Now what you can do is go to that article, see the books that are listed out there. Like, three books that are there, that come in the top categories are: one is speed reading with your right brain, then is speed reading within 1 hour, then how to read a book. These are the three books that come almost everywhere. Then what you can do is you can pick up that particular book, you can search it on Google and type in reviews. You can then see that first link will come off Amazon, then second will come off Goodreads.com. These are now very credible and good sources to understand what the book is about, because people are speaking their people have already read it, they have rated the books, and they have already given their thoughts about it. So this is how you can begin your next reading journey. Now what will happen is, suppose you've started a book, completed it 50%, and then moved on to the next book. Because you've done this, you will end up finishing the book next time you pick it up, because you know what you actually wanted and then how you can actually implement it. Now, why, like I had spoken about in the first episode, why do we prefer fictional literature over non-fictional literature? It is because we, in non-fictional literature, we don't have the correct approach and the correct mindset to uh, gain out of that particular book. We actually pick up non-fictional book and just try to read a passage or two, and then actually don't do anything beyond that. We don't actually realize that what we want to actually gain out of a non-fictional literature or a self-help book, how we are going to utilize it, and how we are actually how it is going to help us. Now, like Gaurav said, that he had when he read this book Think Like a Monk, he saw some positive changes for a week, but after, so for a week, but then after that he didn't actually maybe practice that, because of which he lost touch with it, because of which you know uh, he didn't try to develop it also further. Now, why reading a book? Have you all ever realized why reading a book is so necessary? Why people always tell to read books, or why our textbooks are always uh, why do we always have textbooks? Why our schools have never shifted to audiobooks, or colleges have never shifted to audiobooks? Have you all ever thought about that? If yes, then I would like to know the reason. So Navda says no. What about you, Rubani and Gaurav? The primary reason why people, okay, Gaurav. Gaurav says that thoughts one printed on hard paper are not easy to erase. Okay, the reason why a particular uh, we are given materials that are written is because, understand this, people have spent, say, uh, oh, okay, now schools have started doing this also. Okay, the reason why people prefer books over audiobooks or videos is because a person who's authored that book has spent 10 years or more to write that particular book. He's given his thoughts of over 10 years, and he's given put it into that book. So understand this. Now when you pick up that next book, a self-help book right now, a non-fictional literature right now, you realize this, that you're trying to understand what that person has done over the 10 years. You're trying to download that into your system in the next 10 days, and then you'll try to implement those things that have already worked for him and which are already served to you on a platter. Okay, now when you develop this particular mindset, it is very helpful for you to actually now begin the next book, and then actually have a motive to finish it. Okay, so this is the mindset that you should actually develop before you start reading your next book, or selecting your next book. Now also I mentioned that why have how to take notes after reading. Now there are so many in a non-fictional literature. In a non-fictional literature, there are many places, if you've realized that many things are bulleted, by what I bulleted or numbered, and then the heading the heading is highlighted in bold text, and after that the next particular passage is given in a normal text. How many of you have actually realized that even in your school textbooks we have bulleted headlines, and then after that we have normal smaller passages around it? Have you ever noticed it? So Navda says yes. What about you, Rubani and Gaurav? Only in your computer book. Okay, yes. So that is again a textbook only. But so how can you take notes now? Now what you can do is whatever the bullet points are there mentioned on a particular in a particular book. Okay. Now what you can do is you can make a story out of it, and then you can start to memorize that particular story. What this will eventually do is uh, whatever the text it is that you are trying to read, you will actually remember. We don't remember the text that well, but we remember stories. That's why it's always easier. We tend to finish a fictional literature over a non-fictional literature, because fictional literature like comic books, like Harry Potter books, or any other Lord of the Ring books, or any other books that we tend to pick up, a Chetan Bhagat book, is a story. We That gets us engrossed. we and then we also try to remember the particular story. But a non-fictional book is not usually a story. There are very few non-fictional books like Alchemist, which is a story which we actually remember. Now also there is a book which I am reading right now, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Now that is also a story. That is why we actually get the uh, message that the author is trying to give us. Now before you how do you take notes? Now on the left hand side, you write down whatever it is that the author is trying to say. On the right hand side, write down how you're going to why are you going to use this, why does this matter to you, how are you going to use this particular matter. And the third point is, uh, when are you going to use this matter. Before taking any notes, before writing any particular things, ask these three questions to you, and then try to read the matter. You'll start to actually memorize things better. Now having said that, we finished with our episode 2, and I'll give you another task that you have to finish before we meet in episode 3. So the task is, the way I mentioned, you have to find a book that you want to read. It could be any book. Okay, now you have to research about that particular book and tell me the reason why you want to begin that book. So this is your task for the second episode, that you have to now uh, research about this book. Tell me a reason why you want to read this book, and then after that we will again meet again. Okay, and then you have to submit this again on WhatsApp. Okay, and then we meet after at we meet at 9:30. At this moment in time, I would like to ask you, is there any question that anybody has based on this particular episode? Does anybody have any question that you want me to answer? Navda, Gaurav, Rubani, any questions? Yeah, Navda, go on and ask. I'll unmute you over here. What is your question?
I wanted to ask that the task we can choose any book.
Yeah, yeah. Any book that you want to read right now, you can you have to choose the book, name the book, and then tell me the reason why you chose this particular book that you want to read. Hello. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Uh, okay, cool. Then we will meet at 9:30. Now you have a good amount of 24 minutes to finish this task. I'll see you all then. Bye.